This is a Channel Africa podcast. You can also get Channel Africa on satellite, PAS10, DSTV audio bouquet 802, and OpenView bouquet, channel 628.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show.
It's only a pleasure. I'd like to begin our conversation right here. I have said in so many words what it is that eShandi's does, but you can elaborate.
Sure, thank you. So basically, eShandi's started in Zambia in 2019. The mission was to bring credit and other financial services to the unbanked and underserved communities across Africa. The motivation behind founding eShandi's stemmed from the gap, in this access to credit and these financial services for Zambians in the unbanked population. And, we realized that many SMEs and individuals had limited access to these traditional financial institutions, and this kind of affected their growth, the potential, this undermined their financial security.
Yeah.
So basically, to solve this, we developed this cutting-edge technology, obviously including artificial intelligence, or AI, as it's better known. And we built this platform that, provided not just loans, but also a pathway to financial empowerment and self-reliance. So since 2019, we've been, in rapid growth, in our home market, supporting over 1 million customers to date in the southern part of Africa.
My guest this morning, we're talking about eShandi's, who is on a mission to create a borderless digital banking experience for Africa. I want to get back to borderless as the buzzword. We have so many challenges as a continent with, also there's a small margin of the unbanked. It's not even a small. I think it's a big margin of the unbanked. What are the key challenges or maybe the issues that have come up in your mission to kind of create access?
Yeah, so basically, it's not just the access. It's really, costs. It's trust. These all play, a role in this. And so the impact comes mainly from the deployment of our technology. It's new technology. At the core of operations, increasingly able to leverage this technology in order to drive this inclusion across the markets. And guys, obviously, these markets haven't really been educated to use this technology. And that's where we use, we plug into our app. You'll see there's actually education as well to teach our market how to use this technology. And we all say, in Africa, it's not just, entering Africa, it's doing it in a the way that suits each market. So I think a lot of guys that kind of try and enter Africa see this as a country.
Yeah.
And that's why we say borderless Africa, because we want to connect all these countries to kind of create a single like the continent is, but not really affect the way that we communicate with each other. So, we embed the financial education with our platform and ensure the customers fully understand the options that they can make, and so they can make informed financial decisions. As well.
And I want to, we have a diverse community as well. So how are you meeting the diversity that is there in terms of innovation and maybe the trends that you've also picked up?
Yeah, so eShandi's is licensed, by all these regulators in South Africa as well, or the southern parts of Africa, and provide a wide range of these services, particularly for this market. But one of our products, for example, MyPay, is particularly empowering these low-wage hourly workers. So, through this we allow great, financial flexibility as well. With different, products like our insurance as well, and, kind of creating a digital bank for everybody. So, it kind of suits them and their family as well, for all these different cultures. So we decided not to go the route where, what works in Zambia, you copy and paste all these different countries, because they all have different cultures, as you rightly say. And, it's all kind of based on that community trust as well. So we don't enter the market as this big financial entity and say, okay, here's the product we believe you need. We kind of go to each market and say, how does this suit the specific market, taking into account these different cultures, and how can we actually create trust in the culture and also let the different communities support each other. Not come in as this, we know how it works, but learn from the community, and to create that perfect product to suit them and actually suit their needs and not just make money from it, It's not just a business, but it's actually assisting these communities where we can,
Okay. And in terms of the services, do you have variety, maybe looking at opportunities to have loans as well?
Yes. So the loans, it actually all started as, a lending business in Zambia. And that's where we noticed, there's a lot of opportunity for this, but, guys are not actually familiar with how this works and how credit can actually assist you. It's not always seen as a bad thing. So in South Africa as well, we do alternative lending. So it's not just any micro lender. So we don't just go and say, right, here's a loan for you, go do with it, what you want, or okay, you don't meet the typical requirements, so you must be a bad client. We go and say, right, what other data do we have access to? So we call it alternative lending. So we pull this data into our AI machine learning platform, which then builds a digital profile of our clients, not just you have a paycheck or a bank statement and a proof of residence, but so we don't call it a scorecard. We say, right, is this actually a good person, from a risk perspective, and is he associated with good clients? Is he in the right area? Gender, spend on typical products, like airtime, bills, etc. And we put all this together in, a phenomenal speed as well. So it's not manual. And this actually gives us an idea of the type of person this is. And, taking that into account, we say, right, let's say in South Africa, for example, there's a lot of micro lenders and, these big corporations, but they simply automatically reject these clients. And we're saying, but, it can't be this way because these guys are really good people. And just because they don't use the traditional ways, to pay their bills and, they don't have, like I always say, if you don't have credit, it's almost impossible to get credit.
Yes.
So we say, okay, fine. Come with us. We'll take you on a journey. We'll teach you about credit. We'll give you a small amount of credit, not throw you into a debt trap, but say, right, let's introduce you into the world of credit. And the dreams of these persons, of these people can then realize and say, right, maybe I can get a study loan one day. Maybe I can buy that car. And it feels kind of unreachable at the moment because nobody wants to give me a simple credit card, So we're saying, right, bank with eShandi or use our application to build a spend history. If you don't have one, we can use, spend history from retailers. And we pull all this together and we say, right, we're introducing you to the world of credit, and we'll take you on a journey to actually, reach those goals that you had in mind that kind of feels impossible at the moment. So.
Oh, okay. And are there opportunities, or is it possible to also be able to access eShandi via USSD system?
Yes, definitely. So in our markets, we still utilize this because applications are very nice, but realistically, some of these smartphones. So we say, right, a lot of people in South Africa have smartphones, but they're not Samsung Note 21s, with all the space. So saying if you're the app at the top of their list that says it's using the most data and the most space, they'll delete you. So what we're doing is, people are accustomed to USSD for loading, airtime, for example. So let's utilize that familiarity of this process to access our services. So, you can apply for your loan, through USSD. You can apply for your earned wage access through USSD. And then obviously we do have the apps as well for the app users to actually access our services as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Talk about accessibility because if you are bridging a gap or you're providing a solution, it's about really understanding the market. And yes, not everyone has access to the kind of smartphones that you can just quickly get an app and get some work done. I just want to look now, Michael, at, you are now in Zambia, Kenya, and as well as in SA. Are you looking to maybe expand to other countries as well?
Yes. So we're in Zimbabwe as well. So Zambia and Zimbabwe were one of the first countries. or two of the first ones, and then obviously now in East Africa, Kenya, but we're also looking at Tanzania. And then the plan is really to really go across the African continent, where the opportunities arise. So that's been the idea from the beginning. And, as we know, according to like Boston Consulting Group, actually, it's quite nice. They say, predicting that the African continent will reach $65 billion by 2030 in revenue. So at an annual rate of 30%, we're growing. And this really, really excites eShandi, because right now, for the fintech space, Africa, for me, is like a fintech hub. It's growing super quickly.
Yeah.
If you have an idea and you don't implement it within the next year or two, it might be old technology by the time you do. So, we have to kind of keep up and form the right partnerships, where we can, and really take this market on. It's very, very exciting for us,
It's good to hear. Well, not that my guests aren't always as optimistic, but you called Africa a fintech hub, and I'm like, wow, that's I like the sound of that. It's okay, good. It's good to know. And if one wants to be, to have access to these services that we've been speaking about, how can they go about it?
Okay, so we across all social media platforms. The obvious ones like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You guys can go and follow our journey there. So we're posting updates on a regular basis as we grow. And then also the easiest is to go on our website. So eShandi.com, you'll see is our global website. And then there's also some tabs there per country. So depending on where you're based, you can click on South Africa, Zim, Kenya, or Zambia, and then you can reach out to us, by filling in the form. And the nice thing is you won't be chatting to a bot here. You'll be chatting to us directly. So please reach out. I'd love to meet with you in person. We can have a coffee. We can chat about eShandi and, see how we can actually respond to these financial needs.
That podcast was courtesy of Channel Africa, the African perspective.